ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा। चक्षुदान दिलो यही जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। दिव्य ज्ञान विदे प्रकाशितो। दिव्य ज्ञान विदे प्रकाशितो। प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश याते। वेद गाया हर चरितो। वेद गाया हर चरितो। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु। लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना। लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना। आहा प्रभु करो दया। देहो मोरे पाद छाया। आहा प्रभु करो दया। देहो मोरे पद छाया। आहा प्रभु करो दया। देहो मोरे पद छाया। एबेयस कुशुक्र भुवाना। एबेयस कुशुक्र भुवाना। शिला प्रभुपाद पतित पावाना। शिला प्रभुपाद पतित पावाना। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा। जय गौर भक्त विंदा जय गौर भक्त विंदा जय गौर भक्त विंदा जय गौर भक्त विंदा।
प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमः। सरस्वती देवे गौरवा शून्यवादी रश्चतादिशतातीने नमः। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे कृष्णा Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bolo bolo Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe Jaya Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Krishna Balaram Giri Govardhan Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gaur Premanande. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्रीमती भक्ति देवी वृंद देवी की जय। यमुनामयी गंगामयी की जय। द मोस्ट मर्सीफुल लॉर्डशिप एंड द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा नील माधव की जय। श्री श्री राधा गिरिधारी की जय। श्री श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री राधा दामोदर की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरचंद्र निताय चैतन्य चंद्र की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Shri Gauranga. Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Presidential treatment. Jaya Radha. Thank you, Prabhu. Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivadadari. Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivadadari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya. We do it together. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Dato Jayamudiraye Nasta Preshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Thank you for coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are returning to the 8th canto, chapter 7. Lord Shiva drinks an ocean of poison. Lord Shiva saves the universe. So can anybody recap us what's been going on in this epic saga between the devotees and the demons? Benny doesn't know. There goes our chance. Rashni, you want to bring us up to speed? So where did the poison come from? How did we get poisoned?
Churning the ocean of the milk ocean. Yeah, and then poison came out.
Spark notes. So the demons took power. Indra screwed up again. And to remedy the situation, Lord Vishnu came up with an ingenious plan. First, to unite the demigods and the demons in a common goal, which was immortality. Right? No matter who we are in the world, immortality seems like a good thing. It's something to strive for. So both parties, they were interested in achieving this immortality. So Lord Vishnu told him, you take this Mandara mountain, which is very heavy, they couldn't lift it, and you bring it to the milk ocean, which is his very own abode. And you stick it in the ocean and you churn it with this mountain. Everyone's seen butter or something? They stick a rod in the pot and they tie a rope around it and it spins it and it thickens. It separates the, whey and solids, thickens it. So there's an ocean, so you need a big rod. So you got a giant mountain. Thousands of miles high, hundreds of miles wide. Stuck it in the middle of the ocean, used this massive snake man who's alive, Vasuki, snake, and pulled it. And he says that first there are some things that will come up, attractive things. There's a horse, there was this elephant, so many things came up. But he said, don't be bewildered by these temporary material things. Remain focused on your goal. Immortality, something permanent. So they allowed the demons to get some of these things. And interestingly enough, before the good stuff came out, guess what came out? Poison. So in our own churning, every day we're churning our hearts. We're sticking the rod of sincere endeavor to be better. And tying the rope around it of sadhu sangha, and churning it, our desire plus our relationships, churning so many things from inside. And always what comes out first is poison. The nasty things, that's on the surface, because it's not a part of our deepest self. It's coverings. So whenever we're trying to do something genuine, something sincere, in the association of other sadhus, sincere people, always what comes first is what's on the outside, what's artificial, what's superficial. And that's the dissension, that's the disagreement, that's the fear, that's the trauma, that's the criticism, that's the laziness, selfishness. All of that comes up first. And if we keep churning, if we tolerate those things, Lord Vishnu says, tolerate, don't go for them. Don't stop churning, let them pass. The demons will go for them. He says, you demigods, you stay focused on the main goal of permanent life. You keep churning and you will achieve your permanent life. But the demons, they stop churning. They went for the material things. They went for the beautiful elephant. They went for the giant horse. They went for the pot of gold. They were afraid of the poison, but they went for the gold. So if we want to be in the demigod category, we keep churning, even though so many things are coming out. Poison things, good things. It said that the last of anarthas, was it Tarangana something, is relishing the opulences of bhakti, becoming attached to our own advancement, our own expert presentation of Krishna consciousness, our own spiritual realizations. We become puffed up and prideful about them. Oh, I can do things. I'm a good devotee. I'm an expert mystic. I have subtle awareness now. This is the last of anarthas. Because it's tricky, it's insidious. We're doing well. We seem like we're progressing. We seem like, nothing can touch us. Krishna's pleased. And still, if we stop churning, if we stop being honest, if we stop being humble, if we stop being serious about the permanency, what that actually means, devotional service, eternal devotional service, then we'll miss it. We'll be stuck with our minor opulence for a short time. Yes, you may be a good speaker, subtle awareness. You may be a little more powerful than other people. You may have some talent, some abilities. But guess what? You're going to die. All those things are going to go away. You're not going to remember them. No one's going to remember you. You're going to be in another place at another time with another situation. And you're going to have to keep churning. Because until we achieve permanent life, We're going to keep experiencing temporary life, ups and downs and all arounds. So he says, don't be disturbed, don't be distracted. When you churn, these things will come out, but just keep on churning. It's the same thing Prabhupada said in that purport the other day. Don't give up the fight, whatever you do. So, we have amazing souls like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the guru of the ignorant. And therefore, we can experience the potency of Lord Shiva through our gurus, the ones who are taking care of the ignorant. And you see what Lord Shiva does in this chapter. This chapter is called Lord Shiva Saves the Universe. Why? Because the poison was so great and so powerful that it was singeing. It was burning them, just the smell of it. No one could touch it. No one could even be near it. Demons, demigods alike, everyone. People way more powerful than us, they couldn't get near this poison. But they had someone who could. And he sucked it up. He sucked it up like it was nothing. And he left them with the pure milk ocean so that the opulences can come up, so that the nectar of immortality can come up. So this is what Guru does. When we go to Guru, we say, look, the poison is coming up. What do I do? Please take this. Please help me. Guru can suck it up. Follow this instruction. Trust this direction. Remember me. Remember this. Remember your eternal position. He can suck it up. So, today's class will be specifically about Kurma, Lord Tortoise. Prabhupada fondly called him. We have Lord Boar and we have Lord Tortoise. Who's your favorite? Actually, scientists, they say that the tortoise is one of the most ancient species that we have today. They're very close to dinosaurs. That's their idea, their version. Crocodiles, tortoises, these things are older than other species of life. So it's fitting that in this early stages of the universe, the Lord takes form as a tortoise. And when I think of Kurma, what I think of is the Lord's ability to take pleasure in any situation, even in uncomfortable situations. So you'll see Lord Kurma comes into play because when they're churning, it starts to sink. This giant mountain in the middle of the ocean, they put it on the ground, the ocean floor. Okay, now we have a mountain, we have a churning rod, it's in the ocean, we got the rope, they're churning it, they're churning it, they're churning it. And it's just going lower and lower and lower into the sand. And they're losing their mountain, they're losing their churning rod. So they're praying, Krishna, what do we do? Krishna's on the top of the mountain, he incarnates in so many ways in this pastime, just showing how it's his mercy only that things get done. Krishna, what do we do? We're losing our churning rod. He says, don't worry. And he manifests in the form of a giant turtle. Why turtle is similar to Nrsingadev? It's functionally appropriate. He had to go under the water and have a hard, steady surface for the mountain to rest on. He became as a turtle. I like turtles. So he buries into the sand of the ocean floor and rests the mountain on his back. So just imagine, you're underwater, you got a giant mountain crushing you, people are churning it into you, so you're just sitting there taking this mountain, like digging into your skin. And he takes it as a back rub. And he starts growling and oozing and purring, like, oh yeah, that's the spot. So this verse that we're studying today is glorifying, in my opinion, the Lord's ability to take pleasure in even the most unpleasant circumstances and what we can learn from that. So let's go to our verse. Sura Surendra Bhuja Virya Vepitam Paribramantam Girimanga Prishtata Bibradhara Vardhanamari Kachapo Mininga kanduyanamam prameyam Surasurindrer bhujavirya vepitam Paribhramantam girimangam prishtatam Vibrataravartanamarikachapo Meninga kanduyanama prameyaha. Glorious devotees, Sura Surendra Bhujavirya Vepitam Paribhramantam Girimanga Prishtata Vibratara Vardhanamadikachapo Mininga Kanduyanama Brahmeyaha. Sura Surendra Bhujavirya Vepitam Paribhramantam Girimanga Prishtata Vibradara Vardhanamadikachapo Meninga Kanduyanama Brahmeyaha. Anybody else? Sura Asura Injai. By the leaders of the demons and demigods. Bhujavirya, by the strength of their arms. Vepitam, moving. Paribhramantam, rotating. Girim, the mountain. Anga, Maharaj Parikshit. Prishtata, on his back. Bibrat, bore. Tat, of that. Avatanam, the rotating. Adi Kachapa, as the supreme original tortoise. Mene, considered. Anga, kanduyanam, as pleasing scratching of the body. Aprameya, unlimited. Translation. O king, when the demigods and demons, by the strength of their arms, rotated Mandara mountain on the back of the extraordinary tortoise, the tortoise accepting the rolling of the mountain as a means of scratching his body, and thus he felt a pleasing sensation. Please repeat. O king, when the demigods and demons, by the strength of their arms, rotated Mandara mountain on the back of the extraordinary tortoise, the tortoise accepted the rolling of the mountain as a means of scratching his body, and thus he felt a pleasing sensation. Jai Shri Radha Nilamadava ki, Jai Shri Radha Giridhari Giriraj Govardhan ki, Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nita Gaura Chandra ki, Iskcon Guru Parampara ki. So I want to read the purport. It's short and sweet.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always the unlimited. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his body as a tortoise, held on his back the largest of mountains, Mandara Parvata, he did not feel any inconvenience. On the contrary, he apparently felt some itching, and thus the rotation of the mountain was certainly very pleasing.
Jai, Kormadev ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kedamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Who has ever had their back scratched before? Their back scratched. Pretty good, huh? I remember one baseball game we went to, they had back scratchers for sale. And I bugged my mom to get one. And I took it. It was a long wooden thing with a curve. Maybe you've seen it. And I actually did it so hard that I snapped the handle of it. I don't know if I was doing it right or not. But man, it's a good feeling. Back scratchers. So they say Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, right? Everything pleasurable he has tasted because he wants to enjoy and he has the power to enjoy and the freedom to enjoy. So why not enjoy? We're also offered that same existence. Let's enjoy. We need to know how to enjoy. So Krishna also, he enjoys the pleasure of back scratching. So he does it in such a way. This is the thing. When we enjoy in the proper time and place, then it is actually enjoyable. It means there's no come down, there's no side effect, there's no hangover, there's no guilt, there's no feeling of something could have been better or maybe somebody else is disturbed by it. So this is Krishna conscious enjoyment. When we're in the mindset of serving the Lord, when we're in the mindset of our original spiritual position, we will be brought into situations where we can experience the pleasures that we desire in due course of time. And in fact, we get it all of the time. All of the time. In a pure way. So the other night we were at the Janavi Harrison concert and I was just relishing how these are mature devotees who are expert in their service, giving such a wonderful presentation of Bhakti Yoga. There's nothing more relishable actually than devotees who are expert at what they do, doing it full of love and devotion. There's nothing better. That's the spiritual world. It's people who are expert at what they do and full of loving devotion. Everywhere you go, it's perfect. The nuances are right on cue. All of the people are working together. The harmonies are perfect. Everyone is absorbed. There's no contamination. There's no distractions. Krishna's very pleased. Krishna's present. That's the spiritual world. So we can experience that as we get good at both our devotional aspect and at the service that we're performing. It's simply an increasing of these two things, a purity of our expression and a skillfulness at what we do. So they were brought into that situation, and I know at least from one of them, Kaylee Woods, was a book distributor for a number of years. I don't know if he's still distributing books, but I don't think he's doing it as much. They were trying to build a temple in Wales, and they were funding it totally on their Sankirtan sales. Temple in Wales and Sankirtan sales. So this man was a brahmachari, full-time distributing books for many years, but just a phenomenally outstanding musician. One of the first Krishna conscious songs that I heard was one of his. It's called Rising Moon. You can catch it on his Facebook page. And it's so jazzy. It's so modern. It's really expert. And we're like, who is this guy? Oh, he's just a brahmachari in the ashram, and he recorded it, with some maybe his phone or something. It was really low budget. But you can see Krishna's put him in a position now where he can do what he does best for the Lord. Sometimes we just need to be purified. Sometimes when we're put in a situation that is that is materially conducive to our psychophysical nature, before we're addicted to serving Krishna purely, we will remain stuck in our material conditioning. That, oh, this is so pleasing to my mind and senses that I'm satisfied just doing it for the pleasure of my mind and senses. That the desire to please Krishna for His sake, it struggles to arise out of that comfortable position. But if we're in a position that's slightly uncomfortable, we're pushed out of our comfort zone, we're in situations that we're not used to, or with people that we maybe don't get along with, we're doing services that I don't like so much, it gives us an opportunity to dig deep, to go under the water, and to feel the churning of our daily experience as a scratch on our back. So that when we're put on the stage as expert musicians, we can do it just for God. Because my whole life has been doing things just for God. It's the only way that I know how to do things now. I've experienced so much pleasure in a terribly inconvenient situation that when I'm put in a situation that's actually pleasurable to my mind and senses, I'm used to an even higher pleasure. I know how to taste an even higher pleasure. Therefore, Hare Krishna, it's easy. Because I've been doing that. But now I can do it, seamlessly. I can do it so wonderfully. People will appreciate. I may not be the best book distributor, but man, I can play that keyboard. So when you take that pure devotee and you stick him where he belongs, it's like whoosh, waves of ecstasy. And that's what we felt. So, how do we experience the inconveniences as pleasure, like Korma does? How do we dig deep enough to experience the inconveniences as pleasure? Well, it certainly takes humility. That's the bottom line. And what humility means is I recognize that I'm not in a perfect position, that I'm not my original spiritual self. I'm not acting as my original spiritual self. And I need help to do that. That actually it is not by any strength or intelligence or ability of my own that I can come to a perfect position or a pure position. It is actually just by your mercy. Therefore, please help me. Please help me. And we concentrate all of our desire to be happy, to be pure, to be satisfied into the worship and praise of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it is only by His mercy that we will be brought there. So we don't waste any of our energy in complaining or in criticizing or in blaming other people or wishing we were somewhere else or even in trying to be perfect ourselves. We focus all of our attention and energy and desire to be that perfect person into the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this experience will bring one into a proper state of humility wherein they can actually tolerate this grinding because they experience it as the fulfillment of their prayer. That you're grinding away things. And that's pleasurable. It's like when you're working out, they say, no pain, no gain. It's not until you feel yourself pushing, until you feel some discomfort, that you feel some resistance, that you feel some, opposing forces pushing against you until you actually make progress. This is the sign. When you're lifting weights, you're looking for that, right, Benny? You're looking for the sign. Okay, now we're actually making some progress. Now we're doing something, It's like there's a bit of time until you get into the state where you're building muscle. Am I right? Okay. It's been a long time. So spiritually is a workout. Our endeavor to stay present is a workout. Our focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a workout. our resistance of all the complaining voices, the blaming voices, the criticizing voices in our head, the voices that tell me this isn't a good place for me, or these people aren't good for me, or I should be somewhere else, I should be doing something else. Why don't they recognize my talents? Why don't they put me in a different situation? Why do I have to go through that? The resistance of those voices and the focusing on Krishna is a workout. And it's tough. And it takes endeavor, and it takes energy. But if we focus our desire to be better in that one space, we have more than enough. We have more than enough. The soul is infinitely more powerful than the mind. In fact, the mind is only running loose because we let it, because we stop directing our awareness, our consciousness, because we let it off the leash. So we constantly direct our attention towards the singing of the glories of the Lord. What is it? Mama Virya Samvido. This is Prahlad Maharaj, something Magna Chitta. He's saying that even though I'm being attacked, being stabbed by spears and bitten by snakes and trampled by elephants, not just figuratively, not just subtly from people around us, but literally spears are going into his body, or they couldn't pierce his body, but they were trying. And he's saying, still I'm satisfied. Why? Because I'm singing the glories of the Lord. My mind is absorbed in chanting his holy names. I just chant. And I just pray, and I just do my best. Because no one can take away our integrity. Even if they blaspheme us, even if they speak ill about us, even if they think that we're rascal and we're doing things wrong and they're hurt by our actions, if we're doing the best that we can, if we're crying out to the Lord in all sincerity, no one can steal away our integrity. And we're perfectly poised to go back to the kingdom of the Lord at the end of it all, even if other people are unhappy with us, because it doesn't matter what they think, it matters what's in our heart. So we're diving deep by humility. This means that I need help, and you're the only person that can do it, so you please help me. Now Krishna will then engage you in service, and it's a part of that relationship to perform that service to the best of your ability. It's not just that I can ignore the whole world and sing Hare Krishna all day long, even when people are asking me to do things, I just look at them and chant Hare Krishna. That's not it, because Krishna is giving you that service. He's asking you to do things for him. It's part of the relationship. So if you're ignoring the request of the Lord and then trying to ask for his help and mercy, there's some disconnect there, and actually your chanting will not go very far. It'll be disconnected chanting. It'll be negligent chanting, because you're not actually interacting with the person. You're ignoring the person and just asserting your own sounds selfishly. So part of that humility is then to engage in the services that Krishna has given us with all humility, with all sincerity, to the best of our ability. And that's what I meant by integrity. We do our best, even if it's wrong, even if it's faulty, even if we hurt people, we do our best to please the Lord, to do the right thing. And we can rest in satisfaction. We can go to sleep at night that I'm doing what I think is right. It may be wrong, and we may have to correct ourselves and apologize and keep going, but if we keep going with the mentality of trying to do what we think is right in every situation, we'll end up in the kingdom of God. That's a fact. Because we can't do any better than that. It's not an external process. It's not a result-driven process. It's completely with what's inside of your heart. So Kormadev is taking this churning, this digging as scratching, wonderful, pleasing his back. Why? Because he's doing service. He knows that he's in the proper position. He knows that these people need this, that he's the only one that can do this, or that he's the one that's been engaged in this service. Therefore, he's taking it as his responsibility. Okay, this is my position, this is where I'm in, at least until the end of the service, this is where I'm going to be. Therefore, let me, put my head down and find the pleasure in it, that I'm pleasing the devotees, I'm pushing forward the service. and being purified by it. My guru likes to say that living in the ashram or in the fire devotional service is something like a rock tumbler. You ever had one of those? You get it. Yeah, we polish each other by the just big... Those who don't know the rock tumbler, you stick a bunch of raw rocks that you pick up from the ground in this like wind tunnel machine, and it just flips them around at high speeds, and they just... And then at the end of it, they come out all smooth and polished. And there's refuse just gets discarded. So we're in the rock tumbler. We're just getting whipped around by the Lord, you know. So often curveballs happen almost every day. Oh, okay, now we're doing this. Oh, now we're okay. You're not going to be here. Okay, now let's do this, you know. That's the rock tunnel or the rock tumbler. And our job is to remain in a positive state of mind, to remain grateful, to remain singing the glories of the Lord. And all of these rough edges, all these jaggeds and angles and pokey things that are in our subtle body that we have no means of getting out, they actually are being chipped away just by the very existence and execution of our service. It's specific. Krishna, he doesn't do things just because. The people that we're with, the services that we're doing, the things that are happening in our lives, they're purifying the rough edges just by going through them with the desire to do them properly. Is purifying our rough edges, specifically tailor-made curriculum. Be sure of it. So this is what makes it easy for us, that we have the sincerity to be the best person we can be, to enter the kingdom of God, to please the Lord, to be pleasing to others, to make a nice life, to be representatives of goodness. And we just try. We just try to do that in the methods, in the places, and the people that we're around. And if we just continue to do that every day, every moment, throughout our life, we'll end up where we need to be. But it's really hard. It's really hard to stay on top, to stay on your game, to stay present, to stay positive, to stay giving, to stay open, stay Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means mind is here. Mind's not going all over the place. It means when the noises go down, I don't start wandering around. I'm going to turn the page. Now I turn the page. That's it. I'm thinking of everything else in the universe. I don't even realize that I'm turning the page. It's just step by step, executing our duties. Varna, ashram, executing our duties. Servant, master, executing our duties. Child to parent, executing our duties. Trainee to pujari, head pujari, just execute your duties properly, as best as you can. And be rest assured that Krishna sees your integrity, protects it, and appreciates it, and no one can ever tarnish that, no matter what they say or do. So this is the lessons that I've learned from Kormadev, the wonderfully magical tortoise. What do they call him here? The supreme original tortoise. Adi Kachapa. What a name that would be. If I ever get disciples, I'll name one Adi Kachapa. I hope he's humble, or she. Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the devotees, all glories to Bhakti Yoga, all glories to the mercy of the Lord, all glories to the holy names, all glories to Iskcon Houston, giving us shelter. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts from the esteemed audience? Diva?
Moms get this a lot.
Huh.
And babysitters. This is horrible and this feels very, very painful, but I'm pleased because this little child is smiling, even though they are causing me great pain. Like I'm holding them and they're like just horrible angle, but they're smiling and laughing at me. I'm like, You're adorable. I am dying.
This may end my back as I know it.
And just the mom life, the whole thing.
Jai moms. Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhava ki jai. Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Radha Giridhari ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki jai. Shri Shri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Kiri. Iskcon Guru Parampara ki jai. Yeah, Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara ki jai. Moms and babysitters, yeah, it's true actually. There is nothing more helpful for our understanding of the position and behavior and mentality of God than taking dependence. Nothing more beneficial and instructive and clarifying for understanding God than taking dependence. Because you start to understand what causeless mercy is. And you start to understand how much care and all the different forms of love and tolerance. Causeless mercy contains everything. What it means to keep loving someone even when they disrespect you, even when they don't want to see you, even when they don't want to be around you, that you just keep well-wishing. There's nothing like causeless mercy. And that's our secret. That's our magic. That's our offering to the world. As deeply intertwined with the heart of the Lord. Causeless mercy is the only thing that can save us. So we must develop it. Because it's Krishna. It's Krishna's friends, it's Krishna's mood. And if we want to be, with Krishna, we gotta plug in. We gotta plug into that. So one can give shelter to the extent that they take shelter, and that is by the constant singing of the holy names of the Lord. In turn, inside, outside, the constant prayer, the constant asking for shelter, asking for help. That's how we understand how to take care of people, is we ask to be taken care of. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anything else before we eat prasad? We honor the still learning. The holy remnants. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Iskcon Houston ki jai. Gaura Premanande.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
I really like the point that you said that it's an answer to our prayers. Kunti Maharani did it, but it's very hard to pray that way, right? To have some.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to pray to have calamities. We just pray to be rectified. Does that make sense? You understand that word? Please reinstate me in my proper position. That's our prayer. And Krishna drags us through these trials, through these life experiences to that position. So we grab onto him. The material world is naturally, it's dukkhalayam shasvatam. There's no need to pray for calamities. It's written into the script already. You exist, there's calamities in the material world. Finished, period. So we just pray to be rectified. Krishna, please bring me to that state. I'm just looking to you. All these things are happening around you. In here, in here, in here, in here, in here, all around, behind me, in front of me, down below. It's all pain. It's all misery. Everything. The whole world. It's full of it. But it doesn't have to be. If you're looking at Krishna, then everything is nice. It's Krishnaized. It's causeless mercy. You see this person. Imagine a world where someone's yelling at you and you actually feel love for them because they're yelling at you. Imagine that world. It's amazing. Imagine hearing people criticize you behind your back and you actually feel grateful. You actually say, oh, only if they knew the half of it. Imagine that world. That's the reality. That's our original. That's who we are. That's who we are. That's how the pure soul exists in the world. Prabhuji, you don't even know half the things I've done. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for pointing out how much I need Krishna. Yes, Krishna, just see this rascal. Just see what I'm doing. Just see how these people have been affected by my ill behavior. Please, what are you going to do with this rascal? Please help me. Don't let me be like this. Please rectify me. That's my prayer. Please rectify me. Reinstate me in my proper position. We just keep that in our heart, keep that in our mind, and it takes care of everything. It takes care of everything. That's my humble realization. I'm sure there's higher realizations than that, but that's what I got. Okay. Thank you so much. Srila Mahaprasadam.